Today, extra excited about today because today we're going to talk about some serious Facebook strategies, tips, tactics, hacks, things that have changed. I know. Drop a yes in the chat if you've experienced some either setbacks or changes with Facebook ads, especially with the iOS updates. I know you're in the right place today because I am super excited to be bringing in someone that I trust very, very dearly, and that is none other than Kelly Sturdivant. And I'm so excited to bring her on in, and she's going to just drop tons of gold and lots of strategy. So give her a big old hype in the chat, you guys. Let's dive on in. Kelly! Hello, hello.
Good morning.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. Yay. All right. So there have been lots of changes to Facebook ads, tons of crazy changes. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. We've got an awesome group of people hanging out and want to learn about Facebook ads. So I'm going to turn it on over to you, Kelly, and I'll chime on in probably more than you guys want to see me. So, all right, Kelly, let's dive on in.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for having me. My name is Kelly Sturdivant. I'm a Facebook ad strategist, and I love Facebook ads, even though Facebook ads has been a hassle the last year or two or more. Ever since the iOS update last spring and fall, we've had obviously a big change in how ads are working, the data that we can collect, all of this lovely stuff that's come out. And the truth of the matter is Facebook ads aren't dead. They're still working very well. But a lot of times it's an adjustment of strategy that needs to be done. So today we're going to talk about a couple things to help small business owners not only get started with ads, but how to navigate this new changing world of advertising to be able to get the most out of your ad spend, even at the smaller budgets for a small business owner. So why Facebook ads are setting you up for failure. Now, as we said, the changes last spring and fall with the iOS update made it very difficult for advertisers to collect data. That means the pixel information that we had on our websites, we've lost a lot of this info because of the Apple update. And we don't know how to kind of sit in front of our people as best as we can. But the problem is that this big change meant that small business owners were panicking in how they run Facebook ads. And they didn't quite know what it meant. They didn't quite know how to adjust strategy. And they just became overwhelmed with a whole bunch of information coming at them. So we're going to try to simplify it for you as best as possible. If you're a small business owner and you are at the point where you've either tried running Facebook ads or you're thinking maybe this is the next step for me, there are a couple things you need to consider first. And this kind of helps set you up for whether you are ready to run Facebook ads. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, do I actually have a product or a service or an offer in which I can actually sell with a Facebook ad? Now, this seems kind of like a no-brainer situation. Of course, we want to be able to put ads out that we're selling our products and services to. But a lot of businesses think their product is the best thing since sliced bread, that everyone's going to want it, and it's just going to start miraculously making money for you. And that's definitely not the case. So even though you have an offer, you need to prove the offer is actually wanted by your audience. And the best way to do this is to ensure it sells organically first. So again, for small businesses, this seems a little counterintuitive. Well, if I have products, I need to get it out in front of my people in order to know if it sells. And how can I sell it if I can't get it in front of people? And there is a wheel that happens at the beginning of this. But the key is really utilizing your organic methods as much as possible before you ever start running a single dollar into paid marketing. The reason for this is to prove your offer is wanted by your audience. There's nothing worse than putting out ads to your wonderful new product that you have and find out no one actually wants it, no one needs it, it's not what you thought it was, and you've just spent a good budget on advertising that turned out to be nothing for you. So being able to prove this offer converts before you put money behind it is always the best thing to do when getting started running paid marketing. Now, ads are nothing more than a traffic driver. It's a myth that ads can make, that they're the sole reason behind sales that happen.
I just want you guys to catch the gold that Kelly just dropped. I know it seems really subtle and simple, but I'm going to like highlight it. So you mean to tell me, Kelly, if I have an offer that's never been tested, has no track record of conversion, that no matter how good my ads are, they might not work?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ding, ding, ding. Everybody write that down because it's huge. This will save you so much heartache. All right, sorry. I may shut up a little, but I also may not. So let's keep on going.
All good. So when it comes to running your ads, you have to look at your ads as nothing more than driving traffic to your sales pages or your landing pages. And once you can make that disconnect between ads actually providing revenue or income back to you, and that all you're trying to do is collect data, it helps you to be able to go forward as a business owner with that level of personal touch to your business, and you can disconnect that. It's a business decision. It's no longer a personal decision. Now, the best thing to do with ads to start is drive traffic. So this means things like blog posts can get some traction, a free lead magnet, a newsletter, an opt-in, and of course sales pages. These are all places that you send traffic to. And depending on the goals of your ads will obviously determine what those results will happen on those. Now, spending, when it comes to your budgeting, the next question you need to ask yourself is, do I have a budget in mind for ads? Now, I'm a firm believer when it comes to running any kind of paid marketing, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case may be, that you have to have a budget before you can start running ads. And no, I can't tell you what your budget should be. That's always a question I get. The budget should be something that the business can afford to lose to collect data. And how I like to envision this is if you were to take your ad spend in your hand and you were going to go down to Las Vegas and you were going to throw that money onto the craps table, you're essentially putting money down, walking away empty-handed, because we all know we go to Vegas and the house always wins. Now, think of your budget the same way. Can I put this money down on the roulette wheel and all I'm going to gain back is data about how my offer is doing, how my audience is working, whether people are buying it or not. And if you can make that disconnect, and you can look at your budget and say, okay, I can actually spend $300,000, $500,000 just to collect that data, that can help you in the long run to be able to determine whether your offers can work or not with paid marketing. Another thing comes with budgeting is a lot of times businesses think, well, if I spend too much, I'm going to lose all my budget right away. And if I spend too little, I'm never going to get enough data for it. And the truth is the data that you get is generally the same, whether you're spending $5 a day or $500 a day. But it does come a lot faster to you at $500. So it's a myth you can't run ads for $5 or a $10 a day budget. You can, but you have to set realistic expectations of what that budget is going to do for you in the time you're allotting it. So you're either paying in money or you're paying in time. It's not both usually. So once you can make that distinction, that can also help you determine what your budget should be going forward. Can I afford $100 a day? Can I afford just a week of time in order to make adjustments? And this becomes more prevalent if you have like boot camps or live trainings or a deadline to something where you know you only have a specific amount of time in order to gain enough information from your ads to be able to make changes going forward. So do I have a budget in mind? Am I willing to lose it on the craps table in Vegas? And am I okay with getting that data to make decisions for my business going forward? The last thing you need to consider is, do I actually have an audience to sell to? Now, this seems counterintuitive because, of course, we all want to sell to whoever wants to buy our products and services. But the truth of the matter is we can't sell to everybody. That's like taking the entire population of the world and saying, well, you're a buyer and you're a buyer and you're a buyer. we're all different people. We all have different likes. We all have different interests. And if we lump everybody together, we're never going to attract the right people. So I think there's an old adage, you can't sell to everybody. You can only sell to one person. And you really need to think about selling to that one person. So what are their likes? What are their dislikes? Do you know their ages? Do they have kids? What are they watching on television? What pages are they following online? Are they looking at certain celebrities? What brands do they follow? All of these types of questions help you to be able to refine your audience search in order to speak to the people that your products and services actually help and solve their pain points. So overcomplicating your ads is as simple as thinking of three things. Do I have an offer? Do I have a budget in mind? And do I have an audience to sell to? Once you have those three pieces, then the rest of running ads becomes a little bit easier for you to decide. We're going to start by talking about the three-step framework for small business success with ads. Now, with small businesses, oftentimes we only have one or two products that we're trying to sell or one service that we're trying to offer. So we don't need to be very, very complicated in that. But we do have a process that needs to be done in terms of how we get in front of our people. So especially with the changes in iOS over the last year, there's been a little bit of shift in how we can get in front of our audiences. And there's been this change in the market where businesses have kind of lost the brand awareness of businesses. Brand awareness is the beginning of people knowing and liking and trusting your business, the know, like, and trust factor. So when it comes to running ads, I'm going to try this here. This is the first time I'm using this, so we'll see. We have brand. So our first level of ads is brand awareness. This becomes like if you were a big time advertiser on television. You would be able to throw money into television ads or billboard ads and know you can't really see a return of investment on those ads. But the more times your commercials or your billboards are seen, that continues to sit in people's cognitive awareness and they begin that know, like, and trust factor. It takes more than 8 touch points for a business to recognize and want to buy from brands. So the more you can get in front of your audience with brand awareness, just to begin that know, like, and trust factor, the easier it's going to be for you to convert them to sales later. So think about your first level as just brand awareness. That's the television ad. So these are things like video view campaigns. They're the same as engagement. I don't know how teachers do this. This is really difficult. And I always like still a good traffic ad. So this is your initial part. Now, the great thing about these ads, they're very, very inexpensive to run, and almost any business can afford a $5 a day budget towards these types of ads. Now, again, this is just brand awareness. This is just getting your brand out there. So once you can put the disconnect that these ads are going to generate any kind of revenue for you, it becomes much easier to just put them out into the world and let them do their job. Now, the reason I love video view specifically is because it costs literally pennies to get someone to watch a view of your video. Now, the reason why that becomes important is it allows you to build an audience for very, very little. Video view campaigns are the only campaign you can run where you can actually build an audience of people who have watched a portion of that video. You can't do that with any other ad. Especially now with all of the changes with iOS, we've lost pixel data. So even if we wanted to collect all of the people that landed on a sales page, we've lost half of the data just to Apple users right there, not including people who have had ad blockers on their websites and whatnot. So video view allows us to build that audience of just watchers. Now, the same with engagement. Engagement allows you to build your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your group, all of your organic, all of your in-platform audiences. Now, a lot of businesses will say, well, this is a waste of money. Pages are dead. There's no engagement, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth is, Facebook is starting to see changes in how people are interacting in line. And because, again, we've lost all that third-party data with the iOS update, being able to build an audience of page followers is a native platform. So Facebook owns the data. We own the data to our Facebook followers, and we're able to get in front of them not only with an engagement ad, but now we can retarget them with other opportunities of our products and services. We don't lose anyone in that shift because no one's being taken off platform. So those are reasons why I really love them. And I think they still work very, very well, especially in the initial part of starting up for running ads. Now, traffic also gets a bad rap because we're sending offsite. Now, the reason I still like it is it helps build brand awareness, especially if you have blog posts or you have value-based content on your website. It's just another touch point that allows you to be able to provide value to your audience for not a lot of ad spend. And yes, even though we lose some of that pixel data in the retargeting efforts, it's still allowing people to get in front of your brand by visiting your website. So I always look at these three as kind of the initial point to starting out. They can really help you to build that brand awareness and to begin that know, like, and trust factor much faster. Now, when it comes to the second step, this becomes our lead gen. So obviously with businesses, we want to be able to make sales, registrations, lead magnet, email opt-ins, whatever the case may be. We want to be able to make conversions at an early stage and getting people into our pipeline.
So with lead, you just real fast because
sure.
This is huge, and I want to highlight this. So you mean to tell me that when most people just run like one ad, right? They run one type of campaign, and then they're like, "What the heck? This didn't work." You're recommending multiple steps, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, absolutely.
So it's almost like a sideways like funnel, right? Or if you turn it upside down, it's essentially allowing Facebook ads to work as your funnel for you.
That's exactly it. I like to call it my intentional ad staircase. So it's every step of the staircase brings you up higher to the goal that goes from there. So this is just another step on your staircase up.
Amazing.
So when it comes to leads, this is my attempt at a lead. This is my magnet. Lead generation is that initial point. So this could be registrations. If you have a lead magnet, an opt-in, a boot camp. My hand is cramping. I don't know. I really don't know how teachers do this. Boot camps, webinar, a training series, anything that starts that builds that next level in your know, like, and trust factor. Now, the great thing about this is getting them into your email list, which, again, we know there's been changes that are happening to emails, but again, the email list is the only list you own 100% outright. No one can take that away from you. Facebook can die tomorrow, TikTok can die tomorrow, YouTube can die tomorrow. But your email list, that CSV file you create of people who have opted into your email list, that is your business's rights, that you own that. So no matter what, you can still get in front of your audience by ways of email marketing. Now, at the second level, the best thing to do is to be able to use the audience you had in your brand awareness and retarget them with your lead gen. Now, because we've built essentially your video view audiences and your engagement audiences, we haven't taken anyone off platform. Now we have one touch point, and now we have two touch points. Hopefully multiple touch points if they've watched several of our videos or gone to our websites or anything like that. So it makes this level a little bit easier and a little less of a cost associated with acquiring those leads. Now, generally speaking, a email, and again, this is industry standards, is generally anywhere between $1 and $5 for like a lead magnet. So that means you're offering a PDF or a free training series in exchange for an email. When we get into things like boot camps and webinars, we could be looking anywhere between $5 and $50 a lead. Again, it just depends on what the offer is, what your industry is, and whether you're hitting the right people on that one. But it can be as high as that. Now, why does this make a difference? Well, a lot of it comes down to, as a business owner, you eventually need to know your conversion rates. This means you need to know what a lead is worth to you. And this becomes more inherent, especially if you have like high ticket products, that $1,000 or higher mark at the end of your series, whether it's a webinar or a training or whatnot. You know that out of, let's say, 100 people that you get in front of, you have a 20% conversion rate. That means for every 100 people that you get on your webinar, 20% will convert to whatever your offer is. Now that's extremely high, especially for a webinar, but pretty easy math, 20%. That means 20 people. In order for you to make those 20 sales, you need to make sure you have enough people in your pipeline to get to that offer. So you have to kind of reverse engineer back as to what you're willing to spend here to bring them into your system. Now, I believe webinar standards are actually between about 1% and 3% on a conversion. So it's a myth that, you can have a high ticket coaching program. And again, you think like all of a sudden the riches are going to flow to you and this guy's going to open up, everyone's going to want to buy it. It doesn't really happen that way. So, generally on a webinar, you'd be lucky to sell 1 or 2, sometimes a little bit more depending on the audience size. So again, reverse engineering back will allow you to determine not only how many people you need, but the approximate cost it's going to get for you to come in. Service-based industries, this is also a really great way for you to figure out whether you can afford to run ads to like a case study or a sales page or a scheduler to book calls with you. If you know your conversion rate is 10% of people who you speak to, then in order for you to make, let's say you're selling a $1,000 service, in order for you to make 5 sales, you need to get, I got to backtrack here at math, 10%. We're looking at, 50 people to get 10. So 100, we would get 100, we would get 10%. It feels like a Monday. So then you can figure out what your lead gen cost is. If it costs you $10 to get someone to schedule a call with you, and out of the 10 people that schedule and you convert it to 1 books, is it worth spending that kind of money in order to achieve the results that you're trying to get? And sometimes you have to kind of figure that out before you start running your traffic in order to determine what your endpoint is. Because we don't want to be spending money into ads that don't end up providing what we need in return. And the great thing with service-based industries, a lot of times it's a recurring revenue. So sometimes we might be willing to spend upwards of a full month's cost of whatever our products and services are in order to bring someone into that pipeline. So if you asked almost any service-based industry, if you were willing to spend $1,000 to get a lead, or to make a sale for a recurring $1,000 service, most people would probably say yes. They'd be willing to take a month hit in order to do that. Make sense? Good. So this is kind of your next level, that lead gen. This is, again, another touch point. It's a small investment into your ecosystem, a lot of times free trainings, free webinars. And then the great thing about this is once they're in your email system, now you can nurture them organically to continue to make those sales without having to use your ad spend. Our third level is the biggest one. Let's see if I have enough room to write it all. Oh, I do. Is the retargeting. Now, retargeting is hitting those audiences again. So we've brought them in from brand awareness. We've then worked into building a little bit of trust with our freebies, our offers, a small buy-in. And now we want the big sale. So retargeting is essentially just getting back in front of anyone who's been into your ecosystem. Now, this is all warm traffic. So they've already had at least one touch point with you. Retargeting is never cold. It's always come back, come back, come back. Iceberg, Titanic, Jack, come back, come back. Yeah. So retargeting can be as simple as getting in front of sales pages. They can be a re-offer. They could be a reminder. They could be a scheduler. Anything that makes that next level of buy-in for you. So you could have someone watch on a video, watch you doing a number of videos, free value training. Then they get hit with a registration page to your free webinar. Now they've gone through the webinar and you have a coaching program on the end. And of course, they're hit with the sales pages there. But now you're getting in front of them with another ad as a reminder to that sales page. And a great way of doing this is with testimonials. So people who have already taken your program, who already have that know, like, and trust factor with you. That's where these work really well, is in your testimonials at that retargeting level. It's also where you can schedule a call. So if you have a really high ticket program and you have a sales team that helps you with that, that's where those sales team can come in and be able to make those leads and convert them to sales. So if you've never had any ads run, you've never proven your offers, you have no idea what's happening, then you're starting here. You're building up that brand awareness. Even at $5 a day, start building it, because it will become important as your business starts to grow. If you have larger budgets, you can decide to sever the brand awareness from or combine these two together and run them to your cold audience. So a lot of times brands will choose to run straight to lead gen, especially free things like opt-ins or webinars. Sometimes you can gain fairly good results without that brand awareness, but I always like building that brand awareness because it will always suit your business in the long run. Once you start, then it's tweaking. And that's where the fun part of running ads really comes into play. Again, it's a myth that you can run a single ad and all of a sudden make bank. Years ago, when Facebook ads first started, yes, you could actually do that. You could run a crappy ad and still make sales. It's just the way it was when the program first started. But now, after a decade of advertising, that's no longer the case. So you have to be able to know what the data says in your ads and how you can tweak them. So again, as we touched in the beginning, ads are nothing more than a traffic driver. But the data that the ads provide you give you enough information to know whether it's an ad problem or it's a landing page problem. Let that sink in a minute. It's not always your ads that's the problem when you can't make sales or conversions. Your ad data will actually tell you whether the ads are working. And they do this with one really key metric, and that's your click-through rate. On a standard page, the average click-through rate, again, industry-wide, is only about 1 to 2%. 3 is kind of like the highest end of that. So if your ads are converting at 1 to 3% click-through rate, that means your ads are actually doing its job. They're hitting the right audience, the messaging is right, people are actually clicking that button and going to the landing page. But if you're still not getting sales, then that can be a very good indication it's a landing page that needs adjustment. So maybe the copy on that needs changing. Maybe the messaging isn't right. Maybe it's not congruent to your offer. There's something there that people are not resonating with. And that is what the ads can tell you. Now, if the click-through rate was low and you still weren't making the conversions, then that's a very good indicator that your ads actually need a little bit of change. And that's where you can tweak your audiences, tweak your message, tweak your creatives and whatnot. It's understanding ads you're just continuously testing your offer, testing your pages, testing your audience, and making your adjustments as you go from there. One of the best creatives right now is video. And if you're not using video in your business, even organically, you're going to fall further and further behind. And the truth is, with ads especially, video is king. So the more video you can create, not only on your organic level, but use those same videos into your paid marketing, will help you stand out above the rest. And like I said, video is an audience that you can build from. So use those videos to create that brand awareness for less, build that audience as you go from there. So the last thing we're going to discuss is how to run Facebook ads without hiring an expensive ad strategist. Now, we've kind of touched a lot. The biggest reason is this three-step framework. So start with your brand awareness, build your lead generation, and then retarget. At its core, that is the simplistic nature of running ads.
Love this. You guys, real fast. I know we haven't even gotten to point 3 yet, but who here is like, this is so helpful. I know a lot of people have been wondering, does this work in 2022? Yes, it does. In fact, we're seeing that this strategy, sometimes people will say like, oh, I had success running like a single campaign. But what happens is it usually dries out as your funnel gets emptier and emptier. Usually what a hallmark of that is we see people like knock their first launch out of the park and they're stoked. And guess what? All they did was get their warm audience. And now we got to rebuild again. So this is absolute gold. Who here's already getting some takeaways, some thoughts, some ahas? Let's keep on going because it's going to keep turning up.
Awesome. So as we discussed, that ads are a funnel. It's no different than a sales funnel. It's no different than a staircase to your value ladder. And when you can realize that, it helps you to be able to map out your ads in the same fashion. So the first thing is understand the beginning of running ads. So our goal is to build that brand awareness. Our goal is to expand our reach. And then the goal is to sell. If someone says right off the bat, my goal is to sell $1 million in products, they're not looking at their ads in the right way. And ads are one part of your entire business ecosystem. So again, ads can't make or break a business, but if they're not used correctly or they're used as your safety net in the business, that's when you're going to run into problems. So really use them only as a means of providing data, as a means of getting in front of your audiences, and hopefully in front of your audiences for cheap, and keeping your pipeline filled. So there's always a new crop of brand new people who are beginning that know, like, and trust factor with you. So one of the main reasons you can run ads for yourself is to learn how to run ads for yourself. Of course, as business owners, especially when we're starting out in our businesses, we don't have a team of people. We're not at that stage where we can afford to have people come in and do those things. So you have to get good at wearing all the hats in your business. And one of those hats is your marketing. Not only on your organic level, because I'm a firm believer that even if you're running paid marketing, you still need to build an organic traffic method. Because again, who wants to pay all this money when you can build organically a lot of the times too? So understanding that you have to learn some of these skills for yourself. YouTube is a great place. In fact, I have a YouTube channel all about running Facebook ads for small businesses. TikTok is another place to learn. There is a bunch of resources. And in fact, on my website, I have a bunch of free resources that help you out as well. But it's just building time into your business to learn Facebook ads for yourself. The next thing you need to do is you have to actually run ads. And you have to run more than one and expect things to just miraculously change and work for you. I don't know about you, but the first time I ran an ad, it didn't go very well. It was clunky. It was painful. And yeah, my money kind of went because I didn't understand the entire process. I didn't know what I was doing. but I was willing to try in order to see what that data provided for me. So having, again, that disconnect between the personal side of your business and the business decisions will ultimately also help you to disconnect that spend. Get good at practice. Get really good at practice. Learn how to build those brand awareness campaigns. Start studying your competition. One of the best places to go to study your competition is the Facebook ads library. This is a free resource for anyone. Just Google search Facebook ads library and it'll come up. And the great thing about this tool is you can see in real time all the advertisers currently running ads on Facebook. So you could go in and search for your competition. Let's say you're a clothing store and Old Navy is your competition. Search Old Navy and see what kind of ads they're running. This allows you to see what the big brands or what your big influencers are doing and how you can emulate it for your own business. Now, I said emulate, I did not say steal. So don't take what they're doing and copy it verbatim. That's just not ethical, and that's not what we preach. But take a look at their copy. Is it short form copy? Is it a novel? What are the images or videos that they're using? Is it big and bold and bright colors? Is it a 10-second video? Is it a 3-minute video? Is it landscape? Is it portrait? Are they running multiple variations of the same ad? Do they have multiple images? Do they have multiple creatives? Just get good at studying your competition, studying even outside of your competition, and see what other people are doing in the ad space so that you can look at it and go, oh, okay, I can actually do that. One of my favorite tools for creation, and to be honest, it's probably one of the only tools I use when I create ads for my clients, is Canva. Canva's free account provides so much information and so much amazing graphics and videos now that it's still well worth the paid account if you ask me, but it's a really great place at starting that you don't have any additional costs in your business to put out. So get good at creating. If you're a personal face of your business, use your personal image. That's, again, how you build that know, like, and trust factor. People buy from people that don't buy from businesses. So if you can make a face to your business, and using your own face is ultimately the best thing to do, that just brings in that know, like, and trust factor that much more, more prevalent and more easy to your audience. And the last thing really is just having patience. Running Facebook ads is not an easy skill for a lot of people to do, but we have to have patience that we have to go through in order to set us up for success when our businesses grow to the point that we can actually hand this off to somebody else. Learning how to do them yourself first allows you to be able to hire the right people when the time comes to make that business decision. And ultimately, it just helps you as a business owner know exactly how your advertising dollars are being spent in the terms of Facebook ads.
This is so good already. Oh my gosh, who's getting some serious value right here? Drop a yes. This is pretty cool. It's interesting because I know for a lot of people, they might be like, this is all really amazing, but you're telling me like I have to do the work on this one. The answer is most likely yes. Yeah. So keep on going, Kelly. You're rocking it.
Yeah, and the one mistake I see a lot of businesses doing right off the bat is they're like, I don't want to learn. I don't have the time. I don't have the skill. This is not my hat. I don't want to wear it. And as much as, I don't like creating videos or editing and all that, I still need to learn it for myself. So when time comes for me to hire that, I know what I want. I know what I need. And the same thing goes with running your own ads. Yes, it's a painful experience at times, especially if it's a brand new skill for you. But if you don't understand how it works, how are you going to know the people you hire down the line are doing the job they need to do for you? How do you know that the ads are being run the way they should be run? How do you know the data is correct? And like any industry out there, there's always going to be really, really good people, and there's going to be people that aren't so good. And if you understand how ads work for your business, you're able to hire the good ones right off the bat and not have even more wasted spend by hiring someone who just says, I can do it for you, and you trust their opinion because you've never run ads before.
This is absolute gold. Are we about ready to transition into Q&A probably? Just about. So if you guys have ad questions, get them all drummed on up in the chat, because I know you have some really good questions. They could be simple, they could be complex. But before we do, who here would like to learn a little bit about how to potentially work with Kelly, even if you're not ready to hire someone full-time or part-time to come in and manage your ads? Drop that yes in the chat, because Kelly, I'm super excited about what you're going to share. Is that cool with you guys? Drop that yes if that's okay. Kelly, can you share with us a little bit about, ready for it, the Pocket Advisor?
Yes. The Pocket Advisor is my Facebook ads membership course. This is a place that I really thought was missing in the market. A lot of times with, especially people who are starting out running ads, they want courses, they want information, they want trainings, and no one is providing hands-on, real-time, worldly experience and knowledge in helping you with your ads. So I don't know about you, even when I started years ago running ads, I would buy the course and join the groups. And if I had questions, no one was ever answering them for me. Or I was joining, these programs where there was nothing but these bro marketers telling you, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know that. How do you not know that? And it really bothered me as not only a business owner, but as someone who ran digital marketing, that no one was being supported at the lower levels of advertisement. So the Pocket Advisor is giving you the support that you need in terms of running ads for yourself. We know when we're starting off, we don't have expensive budgets to hire someone in, but that doesn't mean that you can't get support that you need for your business. So the membership gives you access to an ad strategist in real time. We have a private Facebook group where you can drop questions 24 hours a day, and they're answered within 24 hours. We have a live coaching call where you get to bring your ads, real-time ads, your ads manager. We screen share. We go through everything to make sure whether your ads are set up right, whether your data is telling you the information you need to know. Just helps you to have that bear hug of support, so that it helps you to be empowered to know you are doing your ads correctly, that you can make the tweaks, that you have a network of support in your back pocket when you need it to help you in your advertising. And it's one of my most favorite places to spend my time and grow with my community. And even in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of people come in that within hours have said, I'm blown away by the support already, and I just joined. And I was in other programs I had to leave because the bro marketers were driving pitchforks and trying to pump themselves up with all their knowledge that they had. So for me, it's a place that I get to help support small businesses that need it, that help you to understand your ads, to help you learn how to build strategy in your business, so that when the time comes for you to hand it off, you are already working really good ads, you understand the entire process, and that it becomes that much easier of a journey for you in the end. I don't like to toot my horn, but I love showing up in the community. I love being able to support my small business owners with that love and support, so that they don't feel like they're left out in the cold when it comes to advertising. It's really one of my favorite things in the world to be. And I really do hope that it becomes something that works for you, that can help support you in your business journey.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Who here's like, this is something that I need in my business. eyes, support, strategy, some little bit of kind of like some almost like laser coaching. So let's dive on into some of these awesome Q&As. You guys, the link to join the Pocket Advisor is in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, I'll add it in the comments below, the pinned comment, and in the bio as well. Plus, we've also shared some fantastic resources from Kelly, including her TikTok, which is a gold mine, as is her YouTube channel. I'm so glad she's consistent there because she's crushing it and helping so many people. So let's dive on into some questions. The first question that I want to jump on into is this is a tougher question because it's hard to show an example without like screen sharing, but I think we can come up with some ideas. Can you show an example of an engagement campaign?
Oh, engagement. Yeah, when it comes to engagement posts, the one thing I really like businesses to think about is how can you elicit a response? Because a response is an engagement. How do you get someone to respond to this? So if you think about your own news feed as you're mindlessly scrolling at night, think about what pops up in your news feed that makes you stop the scroll and say, oh, I have to answer. Now, one of the best ways of doing this is having a polarizing topic. Now, I don't mean you have to be very controversial, but something as simple as Brussels sprouts, yay or nay, people are like dying to answer because they are either really for them or really against them, and they can't let the question slide without answering it. So if you think of these types of questions in regards to your business, it can really help you to be able to create a simple graphic or a post that will elicit that conversation. Coffee, tea, beach vacation, mountain vacation, dark, light. You could even have, like, if you're a graphic designer or in that service industry, comparing two different types of website look, with your color choices or whatnot. So being able to really look at what are those polarizing questions that you can ask in your business that will help elicit a response and build your page with engagement and followers of people who are more likely to be your target audience.
So good. We have a question. I'm trying to find it so I can pull it up. Here we go. Next question. I love this one. Hi, Kelly. What is ad fatigue?
Ad fatigue. This is where you've probably seen it yourself. This is where your ad is being shown to your audience numerous times that they don't even bother looking at it anymore. They scroll past. And that's actually one of the pieces of data that you collect in your ads is how many times is this ad being shown? It's called the frequency. So generally speaking, we don't want to hit ad fatigue. That means our lead costs are starting to go up, our sales costs are going up, and we're not able to reach new people because our audience is being dried up. So again, if we think of that funnel, ad fatigue can kind of mean that our funnel might be shortening up as well because our audience we're not reaching a new round of audience to that. So when fatigue happens, the first thing you need to do is adjust your copy and creative. You can have the same message, the same offers, but we need to tweak it now. So these are really good opportunities for you to try a new image, try a new hook at the line of your copy, try a new angle in terms of your creative. Whether you're running video, maybe try a still image, maybe try a carousel. But these are all things that are telling you your audience is tired of seeing this particular ad and you need to change it.
So good. So good. We've got another great question and I'm going to get it pulled on up. I've been running ads for over a year. I'm in my ads manager, and when I try to get audience insights, it tells me I don't have access to any Facebook page. Why is this?
Facebook actually removed the audience insights last year. And there's been a lot of controversy on whether this was a good decision or a bad decision. But unfortunately, we've lost that audience insights. Now, I believe you can still access some parts of your audience insight through the business suite on the Facebook, but not everyone has access to that business suite or the business suite. I had it once and then Facebook took it away from me. So I don't know what they're doing with that, but I think there is something within the business suite where you do have some insights to audience, but it's not as robust as what it was in the Ads Manager last year. And that's just an unfortunate thing that we've lost information from.
Experienced it too.
Yeah.
So sad. Next question. Click-through rate. Is this in the Ads Manager? And is it called that? I'm unsure where to see this data.
It is. When you look at your Ads Manager, you have all of those lovely columns that it populates for you. There's a hint, and a lot of people don't actually know this, but there is a drop down where you can customize what that dashboard looks like for you. Now they have some pre-selected ones, which is performance and clicks, which will tell you, how many people landed on your page, how many people click through, how many people landing page traffic, clicks and click-through rates. But at the very bottom of that list or that drop down, you can actually customize your dashboard yourself. And one of those customizations is click-through rate. So there's two that are mentioned there, click-through rate and then click-through all. And the click-through rate, just CTR, is the one you want for your ads. It'll tell you how many people are actually clicking the link in your app. Pardon me. And so you can customize that.
So good. Really good question. And I feel like someone always needs to hear the answer to this. Boosting, yes or no?
Boosting. Boosting gets a bad rap. And it's a lot of people don't realize that a boost is an ad. It's the most simplistic form of ad out there. And when Facebook started advertising, a decade ago, that's how they started advertising, was just by allowing you to boost posts. Now, the problem with that, and the one thing I wish Facebook would change, is that most businesses, when you create a Facebook page, your personal profile, of course, is attached to that page. And when you run, it's usually on a mobile device that people start thinking about boosting. And of course, Facebook says, hey, did you know you could reach 800 more people if you spent $10 on boosting this? It's a lot of people think that that's the ads. And then they get hung up in not understanding that there's a whole nother platform in which the ads are actually run out of. Now, boosting, if you're starting out and you are not quite at a level where you're like, you know what, I want to tackle the Ads Manager, I want to figure out pixel data, et cetera, boosting can actually serve a purpose for you. And it's really great for, again, that brand awareness on your Facebook page. So we're not sending traffic anywhere. We're not worried about collecting pixel data or anything like that. It's just getting eyes on a specific post. So at times it can be really helpful, especially if you have a post that is organically working really, really well. Boosting it for a couple bucks can just help you explode your reach a little bit further. So I don't necessarily love boosting posts anymore. I think if running ads for your business is terrifying you and you're like, hell no, I'm not ready to tackle a whole other platform with pixels and information and all that, boosting can be the starting point for you learning and understanding what ad spend can do and what it can do for your business. So I believe as you grow your business, eventually you don't want to be using boosting. But I think if you're starting out, and even if you only have 20 bucks to spend, sometimes it could be better spent on a boost than muddling around trying to figure out back-end stuff with the Ads Manager.
So good. So good. Fun little fact, not that this is normal or to be expected at all, but my post that went viral, the ring post was, of course, boosted. I boosted it for $60. And that's not why it went viral, but it definitely helped with at least like the Kickstarter, at least me understanding here's why. Well, no, $60 doesn't equal 11.3 million. So, but it made me feel good. So next question. When should we use CBO versus ABO?
Oh, I love this question. This is one where everyone's going to have a little bit different school of thought. I love CBO. I think it has a little bit of a bad rap for some people because if you stack a lot of audiences within your ad set levels, the CBO can tend to favor one over the other. And sometimes it may not be the right one. But I think what CBO allows you to do is be able to test multiple audiences and multiple creatives within one campaign. And it makes it just a little easier to just kind of see what's hitting, what's not hitting. ABO, or ad budget level, really works if you aren't quite sure on your audiences. You can have multiple ad sets within a campaign, and each one has its own budget. So then you can split it evenly, so you know, okay, everyone gets $10 each. Or if you know one audience actually does better than others, then you can add more money to a specific budget without having that money being spent over the entire campaign. So I prefer campaign budget optimization as opposed to ABO, but sometimes I test them out and just play around. Sometimes it's a mood. Sometimes it's one of those days you're like, you know what, I'm going to try ABO today, just see what happens. And sometimes I'm surprised at the results that actually come out. So I don't feel picking one over the other is necessarily a make or break situation. I think especially in the beginning, if you don't quite know what your audiences can do, ABO may help you to kind of be able to see evenly across the board. If I spend $10 on each audience, then I can know kind of what the results may look like. But if you've been running for a while, or you have a really good warm audience, a campaign level can really help with that as well.
Fantastic. Let's do one more question, and it is, please explain more about why the Pixel doesn't work with iOS anymore. Interesting question.
My smart alecky comment is big men with lots of money decided they wanted to rule the world and cut off the legs of the other one. So Apple decided under the breach of their user protection that they weren't going to allow third-party apps to have access to your information anymore. As a consumer, this can be a really good thing, because now as a consumer, if you're an iPhone user, you can decide, nope, no one gets access to my information on my phone. You don't get to see my browser history, nothing. So it protects the user a little bit more. But in terms of advertisers, you can see where we're now being affected, where we don't have that information of what pages you're visiting, what you're looking at, whether you're a coffee or tea drinker. Those are all things that information has provided us. Now, there's a whole bunch of top techy words that comes out of there, but essentially all it was an update to the Apple devices where consumers had to check whether they wanted third-party providers to have access to their phone. And I think at last count, it was 96% of Apple users opted out of third-party tracking. Now, it's not just Facebook that was hit by this. All third-party platforms were hit, but because Facebook relied so heavily on that connection to websites, that's a third party, they lost the most data. Whereas Google is a native platform. So when people are searching on Google, they're on Google. It would be like if you were on Facebook and searching on Facebook. So they didn't get as hit with the iOS updates that Facebook did. Now, in terms of why Apple did that, again, they say it's because they want to have user protection, and we are seeing that's becoming more prevalent across the space. There is also changes to email marketing because of this, and I believe this year there's been a lot of talk about cookies on websites and not being able to use them anymore either. So we know on a personal standpoint, our digital privacy is starting to be protected. But we also know Apple is a massive, massive corporation itself. And I don't know about you, but a lot of corporations have ulterior motives. And I like to think that within probably the next year or two, we might see Apple create their own marketing platform in which they would be able to advertise directly onto your iPhone from there. That's just my thought on that, though. But
amazing, amazing. So I dropped the link one more time, you guys, to Kelly's amazing Pocket Advisor program. So feel free to check it out, jump on in. You will not be disappointed. And Kelly, where's the easiest place for people to learn more about you?
The easiest and fastest is honestly my TikTok. That's where I share the most value, and it's bite-sized information. Otherwise, you can check me out on my website, bluepagesocial.com. I have, again, a bunch of free resources there for you, as well as information on the Pocket Advisor. And there's also an application there if you are a multiple 6-7 figure business and you are looking to hire, you can connect and apply to work with me as well.
Oh, amazing, amazing. You guys give it up for Kelly once again in the comments. She delivers so much easy to understand information, and that stands out in the marketplace. Plus, she's incredibly relatable. And so it's wonderful to talk to someone where you're like, wait, you're also a normal person. Thank you so much. Thank you for not posing in front of your Lambo just to share your ad stuff. Okay, so I'm so happy. Give some love to Kelly, you guys, and do not hesitate on jumping into her Pocket Advisor. We will catch you later. I think I can drop the link again. No, I can't. I can. You'll be able to see it if you just scroll up a little bit in the chat. I will catch you guys later. Bye for now, everybody.